Farm Small, Farm Smart Daily is part of the Modern Grower Podcast Network. Check out some of our other shows like Carrot Cash Flow, the Growing Microgreens Podcast, and Farm Small, Farm Smart. Learn more about the shows using the link below.
It's really cool understanding like this wasn't sort of this grand plan of like, oh, we have this huge desire and this idyllic world of building a cooperative farm. It was more like you guys all just sort of were chasing after the same dream. You wanted to own land. You were working with Christian and the folks over at the Conservation Fund. And it was more of just like, hey, I think this would work better if we just sort of rallied together and did this. How quickly, sort of into the process of you guys looking for land, like how quickly did you guys come to the decision that you thought like, yeah, let's become a cooperative. Let's do this as sort of like all equal owners in the business?
Yeah, pretty quickly. Pretty quickly. We started writing the business plan in 2019. Joe already, has a strong spirit of collaboration with other farms, and Russell and I, when we were when we thought that like we would just like have our farm as, a couple or whatever, we were exploring like cooperative models and some kind of profit sharing model or just ways to like incentivize. So we were already like doing a lot of reading on, those types of models, and then it just all just kind of happened organically. So I think, yeah, we were pretty far along in our business plan when we knew we had to like pivot to a different piece of land. So, yeah.
And do you think that like the fact that you guys all had a relationship, was that sort of a prerequisite, so to speak, in order to sort of make this a reality? Like, let's say, for instance, Conservation Fund reaches out to you like, hey, there's 3 other growers that are kind of looking in the same area, want to do the same thing. Would you consider doing that? Like, do you think that it was necessary that you guys had a previous somewhat working relationship in order to do that? Or do you think this is something that could be done where you're almost sort of like matched together with other people, and if you meet and it sort of you jive, then you could move forward? Or like, do you understand kind of?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gosh, huh. Um, we were all like friends, and like, the kind of farmer friends where like you see each other like maybe 2 or 3 times a year,
Yeah.
not like where you hang out weekly, like since we were so separated and in our different, on our different farms, like we would catch up, we'd hang out, we'd invite each other to, our parties and stuff. But other than like Joe, Judith, and Demetrius working together, and then Russell and I working together, like we hadn't, worked with each other either. But like there was rapport, and I do remember specifically, like there was a meeting where we sat down. We actually had like a little retreat. And when Russell and I were living on Cumberland, everybody else was in Atlanta. We rented an Airbnb somewhere in the middle. It was called Midville.
Oh, wow.
And
Literally. Yeah. In the
yeah,
middle.
yeah. So we met there, and we really just all kind of like, I remember taping paper up on the windows and like threw our values up, our goals. Like we all just kind of laid everything on the table of what we wanted to do, how we wanted to farm, what kind of scale, what kind of markets, like where do we align, and like our values and our goals, and even like drafted a mission statement then.
Mhm.
And so that's kind of when we knew like I think we even asked the question like, okay, now that we've all like said what we want to do, said what we want out of farming and out of life, do we all want to keep going forward? Do we want to keep going down this path, and we all agreed. So I do wonder if like, say for example, the Conservation Fund were to try to match us with another group of farmers, like if I could have that visioning session with them and
Mhm.
just find some alignment and maybe over a month or 2 build some rapport, then like I could see that working potentially.
Because you're not necessarily just, you have your operation over here and Demetrius has his and Joe and
Mhm.
Judith have theirs, and you're
Mhm.
all just like on this shared piece of property, which is, I know that's a model I've seen too. We're sort of like a farm incubator. You have multiple, and actually on a previous episode, we interviewed someone and she did that. She rented a piece of property from another farm and she was there on their farm doing that. But this
Yeah,
is
and
like, I
that
mean,
was like
you guys are you guys are all in one business together. It's like sink or swim, like where you're all in it. So there's a lot riding on that. Not just like, oh, well, we decided we want to change direction and we don't want to do vegetables anymore. We want to do pasture raised, egg layers or something. Like it's not just like this sort of level of autonomy, but it really is like a true cooperative, like a true collective people together.
Yeah, yeah, and I think that option you described, like, that was on the table in the very beginning too, like, "All right, like, you take 10 tunnels and I'll take 10 tunnels, and then you take the back 50 acres and I'll take, 50 acres," like, that was also kinda like, "Could we do it that way?" But to me, it just I don't know why, it just felt like, "But what about the rotations? And then do you have, like, a schedule for the tractor?" Or, like, "Can we just work together?"
Hello, growers. Want to boost your sales, reach new customers, and streamline your sales process, all from your home office? Ready Farmer 1, my book, is your ultimate guide to making it happen. Imagine increasing your farm's revenue without ever spending a Saturday at the farmer's market. The book will show you how to create, design, and market an online farm store. Learn from real farmers sharing real stories about how they moved their stores online, freeing up their weekends and increasing their sales. Get my book, Ready Farmer 1, on Amazon and transform your farm business today.